break, so
Yeah, I know.
whatever you want to do.
It's gonna be a light casual day.
Yeah, we do right. We do right. We don't get no hurry.
Today's January 31st. We've been doing this for a year and a week. I hope you can hear this on the camera well enough. I'm gonna move it a little bit closer, Ray.
You do whatever you need to do.
Just for volume. Because again, I don't have my microphone.
Yes.
Mandy's been using my camera to work on her routine. She's got a competition coming up.
Who?
Mandy.
What did Mandy? You got him to?
She's got a fitness competition in Columbus, Ohio. She's going to be competing in the Arnold Schwarzenegger competition in Columbus, Ohio.
Is that when is that?
Next month.
I mean, damn. Well, I mean, what do they do?
Well, they do all kinds. They do gymnastics, bodybuilding. Mostly it's.
I didn't know she did all that stuff.
Well, she doesn't. She doesn't do that particular part. Her part of it is actually, strangely enough, pole dancing. She's a fitness instructor and she teaches pole. And
Oh, that's good, yeah.
this little girl's probably 140 pounds soaking wet. And she's a size 3 or a size 4. But I can put her on a pole and she'll go at it like an Olympic gymnast.
What do you have to bowl at?
That's the house. We got a standalone pole. It doesn't connect to the ceiling, just stands there. And she has classes.
You don't fall off it?
Got a big platform.
Oh, it's mounted or what?
It's mounted to the floor on a platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. It was like an $800 deal, but she's been doing this for going on 5 years now. Started with one class. Girl offered a class. She went and took it, fell in love with it. I can't get her off the damn pole now.
Well, everybody got to have a hobby on something.
Yeah, well, it's a hobby that pays.
She teaches it?
Yeah. She makes about anywhere between $25 and $35 an hour. Now, she doesn't do 40 hours a week, don't get me wrong, it's crushing,
know, yeah.
you know. But a good 10 hours a week, it's not bad.
They come over to the house, you teach them? Or?
No, they've got a gym set up on Taylorsville Road called Modern Day Fitness. It's the only school like it in Louisville. Although there are other places where you can go and take classes, but you're not going to get the fitness side of it, which is what she teaches. And she competes in kind of a European format. It looks more Olympian than anything else. Alethea Austin and a few others out there, like down in Lexington, they have a school down there, but it's that showgirl type of.
Yeah.
And Mandy don't want no piece of that. And I'd kick her ass if she did, you know.
That's good.
She loves it though, and I told her, I said, I really don't, whatever floats your boat, honey. If that's what you enjoy doing, be about it.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. We laughed the other day. She said, I want to thank you because you've been so supportive of her taking those classes. I said, honey, it's easy. I mean, in honesty, I don't give a shit. But I make you feel like I do, and that's what's important.
Well, that's right.
I got a big laugh. Couple things we'll touch on right now. We'll take a break after this. 1965. We clarified this last time we talked. Officer leadership training.
Right.
You took that. You were an instructor for that. After that, you go into OCS training.
Yes.
When you're in OLT, 2 events stood out that I've got in the book. One of them was you were arranging for a meal to be served, and the meal went bad. You remember that? I don't know if that was under officer's leadership training or if that happened under OCS. But you had, the food was left out, it got too warm, and it spoiled before the men ever got to eating it. Do you remember that?
I remember one time in Campbell, Colorado, we was using mules, to move chow up. They cook the chow down and
that's the story I'm looking for. Yeah.
And that happened in that wasn't in '65.
1955, maybe 56.
happened. Let me see, Bob, we come back from Europe or went back. Let's say we come back in 61. I'd say probably at 62 or 63.
And you
When I
were,
come back from Germany, went to Fort Riley, and then we went to Camp Hale for training, you know, Colorado. And that's why that happened. And I'll leave that out.
okay,
This would drop that.
drop it all together,
Yeah.
no worries. Okay,
So in 65, I was back from Vietnam the first time. I was at Fort Riley, Fort Knox, and went to Armor School, OLTC, which was training for foreign officers.
for just foreign officers?
Foreign officers only, right.
Okay,
Officer leadership training, they call it, it was foreign students. We teach them and then they get commissioned in whatever country they came from.
right.
By that country, not by us.
Did you have any events of note during that time frame? Anything stood out during that process?
I'd say probably not, Bobby. While I was in that is when I got promoted to First Sergeant E8, the rank of E8. And I can remember that time, and of course, in that training, that every day, 6 days, we would all the instructors would meet the ones that wasn't in class, and we'd take our PT, physical training, and then we'd run probably 4 or 5 miles, every morning.
That's you yourself, not the students?
Yeah, it's us. Yeah, the students had their own PT training.
Really?
We had instructors, and they had physical training, but separate from ours.
Okay,
We had ours to keep in shape,
okay.
So
it was 1 hour a day?
1 hour a day,
Every day,
every
6
morning,
days a week?
every morning, yeah. The people that was available,
Okay, during OLTC, when you're getting up in the morning and you're going to meet the men in the barracks and all that,
Right.
are you going in there banging cans and waking them up and treating them like they're new recruits?
Well, the foreign students, we really didn't treat them like we did the OCS candidates under all our basic training. We'd go in and they would wake up, they had their own cadre too, their own leaders,
Right.
and they would get them up, and of course they would go to class,
So then you didn't have to play all that disciplinarian
No,
issue?
we didn't have to do that with them.
Okay. Any characters of note coming through that process that you remember? Any names?
Well, at that time I did, Bobby, but they all slipped now. We had a bunch of them that
Yeah.
ended up in top leadership positions in these foreign countries.
Okay. But nobody that you continued contact with in the future?
No, when they left, that was it. And then, of course, I left, went to OCS,
Right.
as a first sergeant,
All right. So you get into OCS in about 65,
Yeah.
and when you're in OCS, it's kind of like basic training all over again. These,
For the candidates.
for the
yeah.
candidates. These candidates, they're coming in from various locations. Like you might have some National Guardsmen.
All over the place, yeah.
You might have guys come in. Are there any branch changes? Like, did somebody leave the Air Force to come into Army OCS?
We would give them, Bobby, the training they needed to qualify to become an officer, okay?
Yeah.
Then after they completed that, they went to the branch school. If they was transportation, for example, they go to Fort Hughes, Virginia. Infantry, they go to Fort Benning.
Okay.
That's advanced. They call it AOB, which is Armor Basic, Infantry Basic, Transportation Basic. That was their branch training. You follow me?
Yeah.
With being, we give them everything up to the fact of their advanced training.
Okay.
So they could be commissioned, and it went to quartermaster. They go to Fort Lee. wherever the school was, you know.
Whatever their school of, their
Yeah, and that school,
MOS was.
yeah, it was, some of them run 6 weeks, some 12 weeks, depends.
Okay. There's some letters where there was a young man that evidently got into some type of domestic issue during the middle of his OCS training. And the way I understood it, he had to actually leave training, the way I read the letters, that you sent to your higher command, that he sent to you. It looks like you went to fight for him. It looks like you tried to put him in back into class, even though he had to leave for it.
Right.
And it seems to me he was getting a divorce and required him to be home for some period of time.
Right.
But you can't leave the middle of OCS for any reason.
No, you can't. Well, you could, it was cases, well, it was necessary, you know, for the person and his family, if he had a death in the family, a real bad illness. But if a candidate had completed, and just say 8 weeks, all right, or the 22 weeks, he had completed 8 weeks of it, or whatever he completed, and he had to leave, you know, for 2 weeks or a month,
Right.
you know, and then you want to come back, he would be transferred to a class that was to another company class. You follow me?
Yeah.
And we had A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
All the way
okay?
to G, yeah.
Right, all the way to G. So he could be transferred one of them. Let's say when he got back, it was one that was in that same week he was in,
Yeah.
or maybe a week behind. He'd get signed that and he'd take out 1 week over and go home.
But typically speaking, though, for something like a domestic issue,
Right.
if they go home and they have to leave base for that, they're pretty much scrubbed out. Is that accurate?
I'd say that was the case, yeah.
Yeah. But it looks like to me, from the letters that I've read in your white papers, that
Yeah.
you went to bat for him and actually got him, after he cleared everything out, you might have put him in class D or F or G or whatever
Yeah,
it was.
probably went to another company,
Yeah.
Bobby.
Now-
Continued his training and got his commission.
And got his commission anyway. Because some of these guys are 10 and 12-year soldiers, right?
Oh, yeah,
And some of them are just like fresh out of college.
right.
Some of them are coming up from National Guard. Some of them are coming
Some
out
of
of
them just
ROTC.
drafted in and they qualified and applied for OCS and got it.
Right,
And if it after basic ART, you know,
right.
advanced training, and they was assigned. Some of them had been to Vietnam and other parts of the world got assigned.
Okay. Do you feel like the ones that had previous experience in Vietnam, much like yourself, how big of a role did that help the candidate going through the process?
I'd say the ones that put a tour in Vietnam or a place like that, there's probably a little more mature and knowledgeable about the military than someone that came in and went through basic AIT and applied for OCS.
Okay.
You see what I mean? So I would say I would answer that question by saying the candidate was probably more experienced.
Okay.
It don't mean he was any better than the others.
Right.
Just he was more experienced.
Just more experience. So in February of '65, we're still 9 months away from actual November '65, which is the official start of the Vietnam War. In OCS, is the military and the government way ahead of the process? Are they starting to push soldiers through the process before we actually go into an official war?
I'd say that they probably, which was various reasons why they was building the military up. They needed additional basic officers. You follow me?
Right.
And I'd say there was several things going on, you know, in the world at the time.
Okay. For me as a writer, trying to put this book together, how would you suggest I look at that particular issue? Should I think that they were doing a push because they anticipated war with Vietnam?
No.
Okay, good. That's the answer I was looking for.
No.
No, but we were in a military expansion moment, though,
Yeah, we was.
as a whole.
as a whole. It was,
How much do you think of that was relevant to the Cold War issue?
I think quite a bit of it was.
Okay.
That's why we was doing it.
Do you think any particular administration has more sway over the other with regards to how the military expands and contracts?
I say whoever the President of the United States is, in his position, he's the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces.
Okay.
So therefore, his thinking carries a lot of weight on, you know, and of course the budget, the availability for of the money to pay for this.
Right. Just like Korea in 1950.
Yeah, it costs all kinds of money. When you know, we knew about the war was going on with Germany and Russia and Britain and France and Europe.
Right.
Hitler was conquering the whole area over there, and of course